Hi guys, Todd from Great Escape Farms here. So I'm going to get into another project today. I'm going to create a potting bed, if you will. So before I get into what I'm going to do here, let me explain why I would even want one of these. So I have all these cuttings in grow beds, and bad enough I have to bend over and get them out. But once I get them out, when I pot them, I'm on the ground digging soil out of a bag, potting soil or whatever. And that's just a lot of bending over. So if I can alleviate that some, I'm gonna give it a try. And I saw on Craigslist, somebody was selling a potting bed system. And I'm going to go, I liked it. They wanted over $100 for it. It was obviously homemade. So I'm gonna go ahead and give my try at it and see how much it costs. So I have a good bit of material in the back here, that some of which I purchased for this project, the 4x4s and the totes here, or the little buckets. And the other stuff is just, like right here, is just scrap lumber that I had laying around. So I had spare 3/4 inch plywood laying around, and I'll explain why I need all that stuff in a minute. So first, let me go over some of the parts I have here. So this tote right here is, I don't know if that price is going to come out, but $9.69. I picked these up from Sysco, S-Y-S-C-O, the food company. I have one local to me in Maryland. If you don't have one local to you, you can order them online and they'll ship them to you. They're nice sturdy totes, and the purpose of these totes is to actually put the soil in and hold the soil while you're potting your plants. So what I intend on doing is, let me see if I can set this up because she's pretty close to this. I'm gonna have two totes next to one another. I'll brace them with 2x4s around them. And then next to it, I will have a wider piece. I just don't have that piece of plywood here, but I'll have a wider piece of plywood to act as a table, and it will go out probably another, I don't know, 3 feet. And what I intend to do is maybe have the rooted pots in one of these. They soak in water before I actually pot them. So I'll have those in one. I'll have the soil in another tote, and then I can pot them. And once I pot them, I'll lay them on the flat surface here. And that way I can get a dozen or 2 dozen of them done before I have to move anything. So that is the master plan. Again, the whole purpose of this is so that I don't have to constantly be bending over. I can just, once I get them out of the propagation bed, I can soak them in water here. I can put the soil in the pots, lay the pots next to them, and all that without bending over. So I do not have all the, by the way, I do not have all of the parts here I need. I only have 3 4x4s in the back. These are 4x4x6. That was my screw up. I thought I got 4x4x8. I figured I would have use 2 of them for the legs and have 1 extra. I like to buy extras because I'm way out here in the boonies. So unfortunately, they're only 6 feet. So I want my legs to be 4 feet high. So I'm only going to have 3 legs. So what I'm going to end up doing is temporarily using a 2x4 for a leg until I can get out to the store and purchase another one. So that's going to look a little off in the videos once I start putting this together, but eventually I will replace that with a true 4x4. So that's it for now. I'm gonna go ahead and start making this. As I make it, I'm gonna go ahead and document it on paper, and I'll put together a PDF with all the parts list and everything else, and I'll probably add that to the members area. Eventually, GreatEscapeFarms.com is gonna have a members area of all these projects I'm working on with detailed parts lists and design guides. So expect to see that in the coming months. So let me stop this here, and when I come back, hopefully I will have some of this built. Okay guys, I'm back here. The rats and I are planning this out. So the 2x4s are horizontal, the 4x4s will be vertical, but I had to include them in because I have to watch the post mainly on this side. So that's why I'm gonna have the post on the outside hanging over, and my 2x4s will be in here going across. That's to account for the lip of these totes here. I thought I'd have to go with a 4x4 in the center here. It looks like I'll be able to get away with a 2x4 going in the center here. I'll space it out a little bit with 3/4 inch plywood on there, and I'll come back and explain the plywood in just a second. I don't think I did that before. So from here out to this end piece right here. That's going to give me 3 feet of table space. And let's see, on top of that table I will have 3/4 inch plywood, and I'll have 3/4 inch plywood here cut in pieces. And the reason being is there's ribs on the tote here, and that's for added stability to help hold it up. So I don't want to cut the ribs, and so I can't just lay it flat. As you can see, it goes right up to the edge there. So what I'm going to do is I will have 3/4 inch plywood laid on my 2x4s that are cut this size to leave a gap in between, so that, and it works out perfectly. These are exactly what is it, is 5/8 or something like that, a little less than 3/4 for 3/4 inch plywood. That with the plywood, these will, the spines here will lay on the 2x4s, and the upper lip up here will lay on the 3/4 inch plywood. So everything will be held, so it should be a very, very solid assembly. And once I get it assembled, I'll show you that. So I'm documenting this. I'm going to get measurements and everything, and then I'll go ahead and I'll start cutting, and I'll give you a video update in a little while on that. Okay guys, here's the next update. So I looked at some workbenches I have, and they are all right around 3 feet tall, maybe a little bit taller. So I did go ahead and take the 6-foot 4x4s and just cut them in half and made 3-foot posts here. And it seems like it'll be okay because I can easily reach down and touch it. I figure I will actually be up just a little bit with the 3/4 inch plywood on it, and then I'll have the tubs in here, so probably won't involve too much bending. So what I did is I put the stringers across here. The stringers are 70 inches, 3 foot tall on the 4x4s. I have this on the outside, which is I think 21.5 inches I did there. And this one I did on the inside 18.5. I could have easily just moved the 4x4 post out and done 21.5. I wasn't following my little napkin sketch as close as I should have, but that's not really what I intended to do, but it's not a big deal. And then I have my supports here cut, so this one will go right up against the 4x4s on top here. I'll have these two. I am going to go with 2 in between, and that'll have 1 tub here, another tub there. This one right here will support the right side of the tub that I'm facing right here, and then this last one right here will just go in the center as kind of a support, so that when I put the plywood across, it will help hold the plywood together with any weight or anything I have on it. So that's it for now. I'm going to go ahead and do some more putting together here and show you where we're at. Okay, so I have added the braces, and this will be one support for the tote. This will be support for both totes, one on that side and one on this side. This will be the other support for the tote, and this one is just the support for the plywood that's going to be going across the top. So I have the totes here. I'm going to go ahead and grab them both. Just go ahead and lay them in here. Sorry for the shakiness. It's a little bit tough with one person here. So they're going to sit in there like that. And then I'm going to have, like I say, a 2x4 going, or not 2x4, plywood going across. And I actually have a piece right here for the end here. But first, let me show you. Actually, let me get out of the light where you're not blinded by it, but you can see that the little tabs are resting on the 2x4s here, and you can see it. Where is it? It's right there. Hopefully you can see this. And what I did is I cut this plywood here, and on the plywood, it's a 3/4 inch plywood, and I held it up here and I marked with a pencil where these notches were. And then I took a jigsaw and I cut them so that this will sit on here. And now you can see the lip of the tote all the way around is resting on the 2x4. And at the same time, the tabs are, the lip of the tote is resting on the plywood, and the tabs are still resting on the 2x4. So yeah, that should be able to carry maximum weight there. I still have one other thing I want to do. Let me actually pull this one up right here so you can see what I'm talking about. So when I put dirt and all in here, I don't know if you can see the give on this thing right in the center. So I'm held up on the sides very good all the way around. So it's not gonna pull through, but I do have a good bit of give right here in the center. So what I wanna do is, because the 4x4s are indented here, and let me go in this direction. Let me actually put this one here. So because we're in a little bit, if I put a 2x4 here and a 2x4 here, I will be going, actually it's gonna be just about where these dots are right here. So that will add a good bit of support underneath. So what I will do is I will put the 2x4s right about here. So the bottom part of both totes are resting on the 2x4. So that's the next thing I do. And then I will start working on the plywood for the top here. I'll be back with the next update in a little while. Okay guys, I'm back here. I have this system totally put together now. You can see the notches are in all the way around. I decided to go with individual pieces here, in part because you can see the, actually I don't know if you can see, let me turn around and see if the light is better going this way. You can see how this bows down here, and you also have these notches or ridges that come all the way out. So I figured it was easier because I would have only had a small little piece right here going across, so it's easier just cutting it off. And the added advantage there is when you put it in, go ahead and drop this in so we're settled in, it gives you a place that you can put your hands under and actually get a grip on this and easily pull it out. So let me put this piece in, and you see these braces underneath that holds the bottom part for good stability. And that's what the finished table looks like. So I can put my pots over here on this side, a stack of pots that I'm going to pot up with. I could have water in here or soil, whatever, but if I have water with my plants, then I can grab a pot, grab a plant, come over here. If I have soil in this one, put soil in it, and then I can lay them over here and get kind of an assembly line process going. The way this is designed, and you can see the beams right here, are the screws right here going into another beam. This is actually perfectly spaced so that you could put a third tote in if need be. And actually you could have a fourth one in over here, but for my purposes, I only have two here in what I'm putting together. So that's it for this video. Please check out our YouTube, or please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also check out our blog at greatescapefarms.com. Thank you very much and have a great day.